All right, so we're going to be talking about the Senate passing a bill that bans any insider information being used to place bets. So I'm trying to get the word out there for news that isn't covered or it's not getting the attention that it deserves or needs. It would be super helpful if you would help me spread the word. All right, so let's get into it. We've got the Senate passing a bill that bans anybody within the Senate from using insider information to place bets on these different betting websites based on intel that they've received or insider information knowing what's going to be happening next in the country. And this is a good start, but it's really not fixing the problem. I retired out of the military, and I can tell you that we had something called FUO, which is for official use only. And even at that level, which is a very small level dealing with just very basic intelligence, leaking or using that intelligence in a not so honest way was a huge deal. And what we're kind of seeing now, especially with this current administration, is these things are occurring out in broad daylight. Nobody is really trying to cover things up anymore or hide the facts. It's just kind of happening out in the open. And when stuff like this happens, it emboldens people behind the scenes to continue acting in a dishonest way. And that's not to say that everybody behind the scenes is doing this, um, but it certainly is cause for concerns for everyday citizens like you and me. If people can't be trusted in the government to handle just some very basic information without trying to use that information to enrich themselves, we can be almost guaranteed that they're not doing anything else to serve us, the people. So, yeah, this is a really good start to at least start holding people accountable. But we've also got to look at things like insider trading that's being allowed within Congress and the Senate. We've got to be looking at all of these different deals that are happening. To close friends and allies of government figures. That's another thing that's very concerning, and having worked for the government is you're supposed to bid stuff out and you're supposed to get multiple bids and you're supposed to go with whichever contract makes the most sense and is the most affordable. So I have a hard time believing that when you're bidding out a contract and Jared Kushner gets gets the contract above everybody else, you can't tell me that there wasn't some sort of backdoor handshake going on that is empowering him to be getting these kinds of deals. And you'll have to forgive me for feeling a bit jaded on the topic because we look at things like Christy Nome being investigated for her emergency hiring of a production company that was only a week or two old, which just so happened to be run by somebody that was a close friend and somebody that she had been working with for a while. And you're just like transferring these funds as quick as you can to different areas and seeing what will stick. And it's so mind-boggling. And if these things aren't actually a concern, but there's a lot of people, a lot of citizens that are expressing concern with it and not trusting that the government is doing things above board, that is a really slippery slope to continue undermining people's trust in the government. I think the government forgets quite often that they are public servants. If you are the president of the United States, whether you're a Democrat, Republican, whoever is in charge, you are the lead representative of the will of the people. You represent our thoughts and our consensus on a global international scale. But we see a lot of times that politicians care more about their own best interest than about our best interest. You can't tell me that multi-million dollar arches and multi-million dollar ballrooms are within the people's best interest because it's really not. If these things really were in the best interest of the people, then they should be voted on. We, as the people, should have the right to say, hey, I want to have my voice heard on this matter since it's my taxpayer money. Some things it's reasonable, some things people don't have a say in because it's urgent or it's a matter of national security or things are going to go south real quick and in a hurry if a quick decision isn't made. But a lot of the things that we're seeing right now are not decisions that need to be made immediately. It's not a life or death kind of a situation. And this is going to lead to a lot of frustration within the populace. A lot of the population is very frustrated. Polling numbers are very low right now for this administration and the way that they've been behaving. So, yes, it is refreshing to see that the Senate is at least doing something that appears to be right, but the concern is that it's not enough and that it's pretty much just for show to at least convince people that, see, we're not all bad, we're doing at least something, and there's a lot more that needs to be done, I can assure you.